Hello, and welcome back to Rainbow Clan. This episode is going to start out a little bit differently. In the last episode, I said there was going to be a battle, which has been a long time coming. Crestbellow and Sparrowcrackle, two cats who have been forced to train in the Dark Forest against their whale by Talonwhisker and Silent Dust, who hoped to shape them into a pair of loyal minions, have been preparing for their attack on the two hellish spirits after they possessed the former deputy, Nightingale Rise, and killed two apprentices. Finally, as new leaf blooms in Rainbow Clan's territory, they are finally ready to bring wrath onto the two dead siblings by heading into the Dark Forest and taking them out, hopefully when they aren't suspecting it. As the two made their way into the Dark Forest, their clan watching over their sleeping forms in the living world, they realized it wasn't just them. Somehow, Bushpaw, Crestbellow's apprentice, managed to purposefully dream himself into the Dark Forest in order to help the two cats. The apprentice is fairly experienced, but this is not a battle he can fight. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem like you have much of a choice. And to make matters worse, Silent Dust and Talonwhisker had been expecting them, and are unsurprised by the group's betrayal. This is going to be a nasty battle. Here's how this is going to work. Each cat has a set number of HP. If their HP gets down to 0, they die. Pretty straightforward. Each cat will have a turn where they roll a 20-sided die, which will indicate how much damage they do to their opponent. This other die is to determine which cat is hit. So if I roll a 1, Crestbellow would be hit, 2 for Sparrowcrackle, then 3 for Bushpaw. It's also a 1 for Silent Dust and a 2 for Talonwhisker. So we're gonna see how this goes. So as the battle begins, Crestbellow is going to make his first attack. He rolls a 5 on Talonwhisker. Next, Sparrowcrackle is going to unleash his attack. A 10 on Talonwhisker. Next, poor Bushpaw, who Crestbellow was desperately trying to guard, leaps forward to make his attack. He's not going to let his mentor stop him from participating in this battle. This is what he wanted to do. So Bushpaw rolls a 7 on Silent Dust. Now these Dark Forest cats, they may be outnumbered, but they have a lot of health. It's gonna take a while for our heroes to get them all the way down. But it's time for them to attack. Silent Dust rolls a 1. Well, that's a little unexpected. She rolls a 1 on Crestbellow. I'm imagining Crestbellow managed to dodge, just barely dodge her attack, maybe getting a little scraped on the side, but it's nothing to worry about. Talonwhisker rolls a 7 on Crestbellow. This time Crestbellow takes a little more damage, but it's time for him to retaliate. He rolls a 16. Wow. On Talonwhisker. Sparrowcrackle leaps in to help him, rolling a 2 on Silent Dust. So Silent Dust managed to leap out of the way of that attack, most likely, just barely getting grazed by Sparrowcrackle's claws. Bushpaw leaps forward, determined to help his mentor and his deputy. He rolls a 12 on Silent Dust. Wow! Good job, Bushpaw. It's time for Silent Dust and Talonwhisker to make their attack. Silent Dust rolls a 19 on Bushpaw.
Oh no!
Silent Dust deals a devastating blow, targeting the young apprentice, hoping to take him out quickly and easily. Bushpaw is now injured, much to his mentor's dismay, but he's going to keep fighting. Talonwhisker rolls a 7 on Bushpaw as well. So it seems like they're ganging up on Bushpaw, trying to take out the weak link. But Crestbellow isn't going to stand for that. He's going to fiercely defend his apprentice. Rolling an 18 on Silent Dust. Silent Dust staggers from Crestbellow's devastating attack, but after shaking it off, she seems almost unfazed. Sparrowcrackle runs in to help his friend, dealing an 8 on Silent Dust as well, hoping to defend Bushpaw while he's injured. Now Bushpaw, with his strength waning, is going to leap in and deal another attack while his mentor and his deputy are attempting to protect him. He's not going to let a wound stop him. He rolls a 10 on Silent Dust. Crestbellow is probably furious with his apprentice for still fighting, but Bushpaw exclaims that he's not going to let anything stop him from avenging his clanmates. Silent Dust and Talonwhisker make their move. Silent Dust rolls a 10 on Bushpaw. Furious that the apprentice is still fighting back, Silent Dust deals another devastating blow to the apprentice, nearly knocking him out cold. I accidentally rolled for Sparrow Crackle, so I'm just going to ignore this one. Talon Whisker rolls a 19 on Sparrow Crackle. So Talon Whisker deals a very heavy blow to Sparrow Crackle, probably knocking him off his feet. But even though Sparrow Crackle is likely bleeding, he still stands. Plenty of life left in him. Crestbellow races to defend his former mentor and deals a 2 to Talon Whisker. As he reaches to attack Talon Whisker, shortly after Talon Whisker laid his blow on Sparrow Crackle, Talon Whisker manages to leap out of the way just in time, only being grazed by his attack. Sparrow Crackle assures Crestbellow that he is fine, and runs back into the battle as soon as he is able to get on his feet. He deals a 7 to Talon Whisker. Even though Talon Whisker is not as good of a fighter, he's still trying his hardest to make sure these cats will not see another day. Bushpaw, barely able to stand, launches his attack. But even in his current state, he manages to roll a 16 on Silent Dust. Silent Dust rolls a 7 on Sparrow Crackle. She likely thinks that Bushpaw is going to bleed out at this point, so she stopped paying attention to him. Talon Whisker, on the other hand, rolls an 18 on Crestbellow. Crestbellow is likely left bleeding and dazed from the staggering blow, but he and Sparrow Crackle are now down to an even amount of HP. Once Crestbellow gets back on his feet, he approaches Silent Dust and Talon Whisker with a newfound fury. He rolls a 19 on Talon Whisker, leaving the evil spirits staggering. Sparrow Crackle jumps in to help, rolling a 10 on Talon Whisker. So while Talon Whisker is still stunned, Sparrow Crackle jumps in and makes his attack. Bushpaw is still barely standing, but he manages to make another attack. He rolls a 13 on Silent Dust. He's really honed in on Silent Dust. Silent Dust rolls a 17 on Crestbellow. Talon Whisker, racing to support his sister, rolls a 10 on Bushpaw. Bushpaw collapses, extremely close to death. Crestbellow demands that he stand back, and Bushpaw doesn't really have a choice. Crestbellow and Sparrow Crackle stand in front of him to defend him as much as they can. Silent Dust's health is now halved, but the more life she loses, the more furious she becomes. Sparrow Crackle rolls a 3 on Silent Dust. She turns towards Sparrow Crackle, hissing as she jumps forward, launching an attack on his accomplice Crestbellow. Talon Whisker leaps forward, rolling a 12 on Sparrow Crackle. Crestbellow rolls a 5 on Silent Dust. Silent Dust and Talon Whisker retaliate. Silent Dust rolls a 7 on Sparrow Crackle, and Talon Whisker rolls a 17 on Sparrow Crackle. Things aren't looking too good. Our hero's health is under half, and Silent Dust and Talon Whisker still have quite a bit of health left. Bushpaw is on the verge of death, but they're still fighting, still pushing onward despite the odds. Crestbellow rolls a 10 on Talon Whisker, and Sparrow Crackle, he rolls a 9 on Silent Dust. Silent Dust and Talon Whisker close in on the two warriors, who are now breathless and panting, blood leaking from their wounds. They're starting to fear that this is a lost cause. That is, until they notice something in the distance. A soft white light peers from between the trees of the dark forest, and two figures step forward. Sparrow Crackle's eyes widen as he realizes just who is joining them. Finally, it seems like StarClan has sent two of their bravest warriors and Sparrow Crackle's brothers to help take out Silent Dust and Talon Whisker. The battle seems to have turned around, and Silent Dust and Talon Whisker are stunned. They launch their attack, Silent Dust rolling a 16 on Rowan Tuft. The Rowan Tuft jumps back a little at the ferocity of the blow. He is mostly unfazed. Talon Whisker leaps forward to support his sister, rolling a 16 on Crestbellow. As Sparrow Crackle watches in awe as his brothers leap forward to protect him and Crespello, Lilac Speckle launches his attack. He rolls an 8 on Talon Whisker. Rowantuft leaps forward, rolling a 6 on Silent Dust. Though Crespello and Sparrow Crackle are taken aback by the arrival of the Starkland Cats, the presence of Lilac Speckle and Rowantuft has given them a newfound strength. Crespello jumps forward, rolling a 19 on Talon Whisker. Sparrow Crackle joins him, rolling a 9 on Talon Whisker. Silent Dust and Talon Whisker make their counterattack. Silent Dust rolls an 18 on Sparrow Crackle. Talon Whisker rolls a 16 on Lilac Speckle. But Lilac Speckle is barely phased by the attack. He lunges forward, rolling a 2 on Talon Whisker. Even though Talon Whisker is losing health rapidly, he still manages to dodge Lilac Speckle's attack. But Rowantuft is fierce and strong. He rolls a 14 on Talon Whisker. This attack has Talon Whisker staggering. Crespello takes advantage, rolling a 5 on Talon Whisker. Sparrow Crackle leaps in, rolling a 12 on Talon Whisker. Silent Dust is furious from all the attacks on her brother, rolling a 9 on Rowantuft. Talon Whisker joins her, rolling a 9 on Rowantuft. Lilac Speckle jumps in to defend his brother, rolling a 2 on Talon Whisker. Rowantuft may be under a barrage of blows, but he's a fierce cat. He rolls a 10 on Silent. Crespello leaps in, rolling a 14 on Silent Dust. Sparrow Crackle, he rolls a 19 on Silent Dust. The two siblings are getting really low on health, panting and bleeding as they face the Starkland Cats and the heroes before them. Silent Dust furiously attacks, rolling a 4 on Rowantuft. Silent Dust attacks are getting weaker and Rowantuft is easily able to dodge. Talon Whisker rolls a 6 on Lilac Speckle, and Lilac Speckle retaliates, rolling another 6 on Silent Dust. Rowantuft rolls a 2 on Silent Dust. Even though Silent Dust is battered and bleeding, she manages to dodge the attack. Crespello leaps in, launching a 20 on Silent Dust. Silent Dust is left staggering from this blow, and she is barely able to stand at this point. Sparrow Crackle jumps in and rolls an 18 on Talon Whisker. But Silent Dust isn't dead yet. Determined to fight to her dying breath, she rolls a 20 on Lilac Speckle. Talon Whisker joins her, rolling a 16 on Lilac Speckle. Talon Whisker rolls an 11 on Lilac. Lilac Speckle, taking advantage of the siblings' weakness, rolls a 16 on Talon Whisker. Rowantuft rolls a 6 on Talon Whisker. Crespello rolls a 3 on Silent Dust. Sparrow Crackle rolls a 3 on Silent Dust. The two siblings are barely standing, but they still have enough power in them for one more attack. Silent Dust rolls an 11 on Crespello, and Talon Whisker rolls a 20 on Crespello. Crespello collapses, his breath hitched in his throat as he tries to hang on to his last scrap of vitality. Lilac Speckle and Rowantuft lunge forward to protect him. Lilac Speckle launches a 12 on Silent Dust, and Rowantuft launches a 20 on Talon Whisker. And with that, Silent Dust and Talon Whisker, their spirits fade away into a puff of smoke and leaving the dark forest once again barren and empty. Unfortunately, our three heroes are very battered and bruised, so we're going to roll to see if they survive their wounds. A 1 is a survival, and a 2 is death. Crespello at 2 HP rolls a 2. Sparrow Crackle with 20 HP rolls a 1. And Bushpaw with 4 HP also rolls a 1.